Portia Faces Life, 3,544 episodes, and the popular character of Portia Manning was also in several spin-off series. There were quite a few other series that ran in excess of 1,000 episodes. When a series was popular, Grace kept it going. In 1983, Castle Ray Line, a story about Cobb & Co-style stagecoach line, commenced. Radio station manager said nobody wanted to listen to serials anymore, but station 2KY in Sydney decided to run it. It actually ran for 910 episodes and was one of the most popular serials that Grace Gibson Productions ever produced. It was broadcast all over Australia and still broadcast in Sydney on 2CH up until last year, twice a day. As soon as the series finished, listeners would ring in and beg for it to be played again from the beginning because they missed some episodes. It's certainly one of my favourites and was released as a set of books by scriptwriter Ross Napier. You can order that series online too, and also the books from Grace Gibson Productions if you get a chance. Here's some Australian shows from 1940. You look at these ads and you just think, geez, I wish I could listen to that. Okay, I have some more US shows. Sounds a bit funny in this because it's an actual air check.
15, Chapter 7 of One Man's Family, a Shadowton under Brandy broadcast, a worldwide triumph in radio, written by Carlton E. Morse. One Man's Family is dedicated to the mothers and fathers of the younger generation and to their bewildering offspring. Tonight we bring you episode 7, book 15, entitled Further Problems of Clifford. And here is how things are with the Barbers. Besides losing Beth Holly to a man named Philip Spencer, Paul has, in the last few weeks, met with 2 minor accidents, one in a training plane and the other in his car. And to add to this unpleasantness, he now discovers Beth is not at all happy with their new marriage. Claudia and Nicky are busily developing the Sky Farm, and that's about all we hear of them for the moment. Clifford was elated when his mother made the first friendly gesture to Marion Galloway by sending her flowers, and sitting on top of the world when she followed it up with an invitation to tea. But all the lights went out of the world when his father called him into his office and told him no man could be a good businessman unless he had initiative. He fired him on the spot and told him to go out and develop that golden quality. In a mood of reprisal, he asked Marion to marry him, and the two of them would live their own life. But Marion talked him back into a reasonable frame of mind. And now we find the entire Barber clan gathering at the Herbert farm for the weekend.
I mean, that's quite an introduction. One man's family was mainly in the early days of Australian radio and was live. There were players in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, all broadcasting the series. It was hugely popular. Carlton E. Morse is quoted in Australian newspapers several times with regard to that popularity. Okay, we start seeing some Americans turning up in Australia. Visiting stage shows also brought actors with experience.
Operator, operator.
What is your number, please?
Plaza 4, 2295. Get me Darien, Connecticut.
What number, please?
Oh, I can't remember now. Yes, it's Darien, 995.
One moment.
Operator, hurry, can't you please?
Yes, madam. I won't keep you a moment.
Oh, what'll I do?
Hello?
Henry, is that you, Henry?
Oh, Barbara, not again.
Henry, you're the only person I can turn to. You've got to get somebody over here right away. Anybody.
I told you to get some sleep.
Henry, the woman I heard about on the phone. It's me.
What?
It's me who's going to be killed at 11:15.
Oh, don't be silly.
Henry, listen, I spoke to Albert's secretary. He's stolen all my money. Uncle Matthew didn't leave him a cent. He's in terrible trouble. He's having me murdered for my insurance. I've called everyone and no one listens. The police, the night watch, but the hospital. And no one will come and help me. What's that?
What was what?
That click just now on my telephone. There's someone lifted the receiver off the extension phone downstairs.
Are you sure?
Of course, I'm sure there's someone in the house. Someone's downstairs in the kitchen. They're listening to me now. Oh, what do I do?
Barbara, you're not imagining this.
Won't anybody believe me? Won't anybody believe me?
Barbara, if you're sure there's somebody in the house, you've got to get up and lock yourself in your room. You'll be safe that way.
I can't move. If I haven't moved for weeks.
Never mind, you've just got to. I'll call the police right away and get them to come around.
They won't come. Nobody come.
I'll get them. Now listen, get out of bed, roll out, drag yourself out, anything. Get onto the floor, get over to the window somehow and scream. It's not too late. There'll be plenty of people about at this hour.
I can't. It's no use.
You can do it somehow. Get out of bed now.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. There's someone listening. Can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling, madam?
You've got to hear me. Oh, please, you've got to help me. There's someone in this house. Someone's going to murder me, and you've got to get in touch with the... Oh, there he is. Put it down. He's put down the extension. He's coming. He's coming up the stairs. Hurry, his feet are on the steps. Please, get the police.
The police.
Oh, hurry, for God's sake, hurry. Don't come near me. Don't come near me. I'm calling the police, see? I'm calling the police. Don't come near me. Get away. Get away. No, not the knife. Oh, please, look at me. Please, for God's sake, no. No.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking. Hello, this is the Police Department, Duffy speaking. Police Department, Duffy speaking.
Sorry. Wrong number.
Unfortunately, I'm going to click out. Okay, so I'll start explaining what that was all about. Visiting stage shows also brought actors with experience in radio and often appeared in Australian broadcasts. When Lux Radio Theatre commenced on Australian radio in March 1939 with Harry Dirth as compere. It was a live artist show, and the guest via radio telephone was none other than Cecil B. DeMille, speaking from Hollywood. Unfortunately, we don't have that episode. No one's found that yet. The series ran for over 600 episodes and was a tremendously popular series. Another series of Lux Radio Theatre commenced in 1955, and the first few episodes included US celebrities either being flown to Australia for performances or already in Australia with involvement in stage shows. That episode you just heard then was episode 1 with Miriam Hopkins in the last couple of minutes of Sorry, Wrong Number. And I see Martin's got that CD sitting out there on his desk. Amongst all the CDs, it just says Lux Radio Theatre Australian. Okay, so the next one, episode 2, if I get this click right, is Vincent Price as Winston in 1984.
Oh, hello, operator.
Or not.
Take hold of yourself now. That's
There we
part
go.
of the treatment too. Everything's part of the treatment. But so long as you still have those few cubic centimeters inside your skull, you're still a man. You're still stronger than they.
Hello, Smith.
O'Brien,
That's right.
so they got you too.
Oh, they got me a long time ago.
You mean you are one of them?
Don't deceive yourself, Winston. You knew this a long time ago now, didn't you? You've always known it. I told you myself we should meet like this, in the place where there is no darkness.
Now that we have met,
We are going to make a new man of you, Winston. A new man. Take him! You see how it is, Winston. Pain itself and suffering is no longer a chance, an accident. It is a calculated process, a thing measured and graduated and controlled. We are not medieval butchers probing for the nerve roots. We are masters of this most subtle of sciences. Look, there is a dial upon which our agony is measured. There is a lever by which I can increase or diminish it. But it is not I who inflict this pain on you, Winston. It is you yourself. You understand that, don't you? You've always understood that. Winston, you are suffering the pain of birth, the rebirth of sanity. You must be born again. You know that, don't you? Look at my hand, Winston. How many fingers do you see?
2.
And on this hand,
2.
put them together, 2 and 2. What does that make?
4.
And if the party says 2 and 2 make not 4, but 5, what then?
There's still 4.
How many fingers, Winston?
4. What else can I say? 4.
How many fingers, Winston?
4. Stop it after you go. 4.
How many fingers, Winston?
5.
You asked me once, Winston, what was in room 101. You knew the answer, though. You wouldn't admit it. Everybody knows it, really. The thing that is in room 101 is the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world, of course, varies from person to person. For some, it is burial alive. For some, it is death by fire. For some, it is quite a trivial thing. In your case, Winston, it is rats.
No. Take them away. Keep them away from me. You can't do this to me. You can't do this.
Not yet surrender to me, Winston.
How can I surrender if I don't know what you want? I've answered all the questions, haven't I? I've learned all your lessons, haven't I? Take them away, please. Take them away, please.
Rats are starved, Winston. They will eat a man alive.
Stand, rats.
I can use them on you,
was able to-
or I can use them on Julia. You have your choice now. Which?
Use them on Julia. I don't care. I don't care what you do. But don't let them near me. Don't let Julia suffer now. Let her.
It's all over now.
Okay, this next one is a
The General Motors are.
It explains it itself.
General Motors Hold'ems, through the Macquarie Network and cooperating stations in all states, present Counselor at Law, starring Noel Madison. And here to introduce our play is John Deese.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the General Motors Hour has the pleasure of presenting the internationally known star Noel Madison in a play which he has helped to make famous, Elmer Rice's Counselor at Law. Mr. Madison has had a very distinguished career on the stage, first with his father, the famous actor Morris Moscovich, and then as an actor-manager in his own right. He is at present starring in the moving play The Diary of Anna Frank at the Princess Theatre, Melbourne, for Mr. Garnet H. Carroll. We are indeed glad to welcome him to the General Motors Hour stage. In tonight's play, Mr. Madison portrays George Simon, Counselor at Law, who, despite the disadvantages of a poverty-stricken boyhood, has, by sheer ability and hard work, built one of New York's foremost legal practices. At the peak of his success, ruin suddenly faces George Simon and his fashionable, well-connected wife. His dramatic fight to save his public and private life makes a strong story. Supporting Mr. Madison, you will hear Lyndall Barber, Derek Barnes, Neva Carr-Glynn, Gordon Glenwright, June Salter, Ken Wayne, Lola Brooks, Brian Anderson, and James Conn. Counselor at Law.
Down to the street. Then it would be really over. Why not?
No!
What do you want, Rexy? What the devil do you want? What do you want? Didn't I tell you to go home when Bail arrived?
I was in the ladies' room.
You've been hanging around spying on me. That's what you've been doing.
No, I haven't. Honest, I haven't.
Don't lie to me. What do you mean by spying on me?
I was
Shut up!
sorry.
Shut up! Do you hear me? Answer that thing. Can't you even answer the telephone?
Hello? Yes. Yes. I'll see if he's here. Who's calling, please? It's Mr. Theodore Wingdale, the president of the American Steel Company.
Tell him to go to hell.
I'm afraid he's gone, Mr. Wingdale. Is there anything I can do? This is his secretary speaking. Wait just one moment. He says it's a matter of life and death.
What do I... All right, wait a minute. I'll talk to him. Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Wingdale. Yes, this is George Simon talking. Oh, yes, she got me just as I was getting into the elevator. Oh? Oh. Oh, I see. What? Well, have the police been there? No, that's right. Don't say anything. And don't let the boys say anything either. Yes, I'll be there within an hour. Now, wait a minute. I'll get the address. Yes. Yes. Yes, I've got it. Yes, I'll be there before 8. And don't mention it. Goodbye. Rexy. Rexy, his 27-year-old son had a quarrel with his wife this afternoon and shot her dead.
Oh, how awful.
They've only been married 2 years. And you know who she is, don't you? The daughter of one of the richest oil men in Texas. And he's the son of American Steel. Can you imagine what a case that's going to be?
Yes, sir.
Get your hat, Rexy. We're back in business.
Okay, the last piece of audio I've got is a fellow by the name of Bob Dyer. I'm not sure whether Bob Dyer adopted Australia or Australia adopted him. Bob Dyer from Tennessee arrived in Australia several times in the 1930s on the stage circuit. He returned finally in 1940, billed as the last of the hillbillies, complete with banjo. He met and married Dolly and became one of the most famous double acts in Australia. With Bob's flamboyant style, he stole every show. His forte was stunt shows and quiz shows. He successfully moved from radio to television when the time came. His close friendship with Jack Davey, who was the king of Australian radio, and the insults they threw at each other in a Benny Allen-style feud kept the media hopping. Bob and Dolly were both keen fisher persons, and between them broke over 200 world and Australian records for fishing, particularly sharks. What I'm going to do here is an example of a Bob Dyer show, and I left the ad in as I get a laugh every time I hear it, how times have changed. Remember, ladies, keep your hands soft for him.
It's the Palmolive Show starring Bob Dyer. Yes, it's the happiest show on the air, brought to you by Colgate Palmolive, makers of Palmolive soap, Colgate Dental Cream, and Softer Silk. And here's the craziest, flizziest man in radio, Bob Can You Take It Dyer.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Thank you, Charles Stingwell, and howdy, customers, howdy. Another Colgate-Palmolive get-together with prizes and fun galore for everybody. But before we play Can You Take It, and pick a box, of course, and, of course, the secret sound, listen to this important reminder.
Don't let your hands say housework. Use Softer Silk Hand Beauty Cream.
Busy hands need gentle care, so use smooth, fragrant, Softer Silk after every household task. Its precious oil sinks swiftly into the pores, nourishing dry skin, soothing away roughness and redness. Softer Silk leaves no trace of grease or stickiness.
Buy Softer Silk in the new Giant Economy size. It costs so much less, for it lasts so much longer. Keep a tube handy in your kitchen, your bedroom, and your bathroom, and always carry a tube with you. Softer Silk protects your skin in this harsh, cold weather and is wonderfully soothing after you've been outdoors.
Don't let your hands say housework. Keep them lovely and lovable for him with Softer Silk.
Yes, indeedy, yes, indeedy. Now, Charles, let's have our next team to play Cop the Lot.
Well, our next couple have been waiting off stage where they couldn't hear, and they don't know that our first couple have just gone broke.
That's right, that's right. Remember that. Bring them out now. Let's have our next team. And Charles, just who are they coming on stage at this moment?
Miss Irene Mogan, a spinster, and Mr. Brian Campbell, a bachelor. Meet Bob Dyer.
Miss Mogan, is it too personal for me to ask your age, dear?
No, Bob, I'm over 45, but under 50.
That's a good general answer. I know what you mean, generally speaking. Mr. Campbell, do you mind telling us your age, sir?
Close on the half-century mark.
Which century? No. I couldn't resist that. Brian, do you mind telling us why you are not married, sir?
Oh, well, I'm just biding the time.
You're biding your time?
I don't want to rush things.
Brian, if I'm not too inquisitive, how long do you think a girl and a boy should go together before they get serious on each other?
Oh.
Now take your time, Brian, will you? Mustn't rush these things.
Oh, I'd say about 2 or 3 years.
You mean that two people should go together for 2 or 3 years before they get married?
Oh, no, I thought you meant engaged.
Brian, no kidding. Irene, you're the slowest man I've ever run into. Irene, if you were interested in matrimony, and I was just assume that you were, how would you get this sleeping Casanova interested here? What would you... Old step and fetch it Campbell, they call it.
Oh, I'd flatter him entirely at his weakness.
You do what?
Flatter him.
I thought you said flatten him. Flatter him, would you? Have you ever proposed to a girl, Brian?
Oh... yes, once upon a time.
I see. Once upon a time. Do you mind telling us in what position you were when you proposed?
Oh, you know, the old one-knee position?
One knee, huh? And what happened, Brian?
Well, the more it's appeared that
the girl.
Yes, the more I asked her to marry me, the longer time she seemed to want to consider it.
That's because it took you so darn long to ask her. She's only getting even with you, Brian. Well, Brian, that's very interesting. And then what happened then, huh?